Hi, my name's Dee, your Professor of Woo Woo, and welcome to Sunchild Tarot, and welcome to the general reading for Gemini for October 2021. I forgot for a moment there, or whenever you come to it, if it's useful for you for the title. Don't worry about the dates too much. Now, as a general reading rules apply, obviously. Timing is not absolute, as seen by that last statement. Roles can get reversed sometimes. Sometimes. But it's not a take what resonates reading. There is a past and a present on this spread. If the past and the present do not fit, it ain't yours. Don't try and make it fit. And if the past and the present do fit, then listen to the whole thing. Listen to it as something to think about. Don't give your power away to some numpty like me on YouTube, but have a listen, and you may either come out agreeing with me or vehemently disagreeing with me. Doesn't matter. The thought process has happened. Now, the other thing special about this reading is ask a question beforehand. So take a moment, think about all the questions that are around you. Focus on one of them, but be aware of all of them, because cards tend to answer whatever the hell they please, and they don't have the same sense of priority as you or I. So, as I was saying, if it's not your reading, go and watch your rising, go and watch your moon sign, and if you don't know what they are, there's a link in the description down below so you can go and get yourself a free birth chart, but I imagine you know that already if you're watching one of my videos. But also don't forget there's the link for the Facebook page for this channel down there, and the only significant thing about that, because Facebook, but it's got its own inbox. So if you want to contact me for a personal reading, that's the best way to do it. I haven't had the dubious honour of being imitated by anybody on Instagram or on Facebook or whatever. But no, I won't approach you for personal readings either. You come to me. So, my God, I'm getting quicker and quicker at this intro business. It's only taken me nearly 2 years now. It's my channel's second birthday coming up. So, let me change cameras and I'll bring the cards up. So, I'm afraid the light's a bit glary because it's season change here, so it's a bit dismal here at the moment. I am using Spellcaster's Tarot, the Angel Tarot, which is by Bloodstone Studios. I'll show you the box in a minute. And I am polishing the clarifications off with Heresy Collectible Card Game cards. Because, let me bring back to the face, because when I used to teach tarot, I said to people, if you've got yourself a symbolic alphabet that you know the circle that is expressed within the symbols, or circles, I should say, then you can divine using cutout pictures from Chat OK and Hello magazine. It's how it speaks to you. And let's say there's plenty of variety here. But you, Gemini, you seem to be... Oh, now there's some conflicting things here. You are forging ahead on a bit of a new beginning on something, and it's not... I don't want to say it's a new beginning. I want to say it's a new level. We have you being master of your own realm with the Magician here. But if you think about where the Magician is in the Major Arcana, he has control over the elements through his discipline and through his training, but he's still only card number 1. He's not gone through the wisdom and the intuitive side of things that the High Priestess offers. But nonetheless, you're in a good place because you have this expertise, you have this control now, and it's something that you've worked towards with the Eight of Pentacles here with Lekabel, God the teacher, representing intellectual talent, and Lekabel provides knowledge. So even so, it's reinforcing that whole image of, you... Now, that's the way I want to say it, because you then have the Giz or Gyasa card. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that, but it's a miracle card out of the Heresy card game. And basically, it's that sense of, well, a Giz can be a compulsion, but I really got the sense of portal with this as well. And it's, as a miracle card, it's this sense of being given a mission. So the image I want to give is a little bit like the old-fashioned 18th, 19th century missionaries. They know their stuff. They really, they know their preaching inside and out. They know their topic inside and out. And you go and take this person with all that expertise and plonk them in an environment where none of their expertise actually matters. Now, I'm not saying that's quite what's happening to you, but I do think that's how you are feeling, because with Vehuya representing the Fool here, oh, that really doesn't show up under this light, does it? And the Two of Swords, in your sense of how you are feeling, this, I mean, look at this particular Two of Swords. I do like the Two of Swords on this deck. With her hands bound behind her back, through her own choice, she is heading up the mountain. She has her faithful companion with her. I rarely consider that wolf back here as a predator. I normally see it in this deck as a companion, a loyal friend, a guardian. And there is a huge sense of you are being looked after here. We've got Four of Swords on the bottom of the deck. This is a healing process for you, but nonetheless, you are surging ahead with it. Knight of Wands on the bottom of the Angel deck. But you have all of this expertise, and then you're taking the dive of the Fool off the edge of the cliff, going to a new environment where you're like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. I mean, I know all this stuff, but how am I supposed to do it here? What's the good of... Oh, can I think of a good example? What's the good of being able to protect people's skin from sunburn when we're in the bottom of the ocean? That sort of... Now, there is going to be a, radiation protection and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, there is going to be a use, but the environment that you are going into seems so very different than what you was going into before. But Warden of the Seven Celestial Halls, yeah, I've just got to read what yeah, it's just game rules that I read it and it sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher in my brain. But I love that Warden of the Seven Celestial Halls, as in the seven planets. As in taking the secrets, the warden, the guardian, taking the secrets forward. Here's your expertise. You're taking your expertise to this new place. I've said that already, but you're protected while you're doing it. But the reason you're in the new place, you might not have even travelled to get to this new place, but my world, hasn't the world changed from last week or last month, or from the point where you started these studies? And when you started gaining this expertise, whatever it was, remember when you thought you knew what you was doing? Now, what you've been studying, you can do it perfectly. But even more, you feel like you don't know what you're doing now. Not because you know what you're doing on this, but just, what, how am I... Okay, yesterday it was really nice, and... I knew where everything was, and today I walk out and what's gone on? Have the fairy folk woke up? Have the aliens invaded? Did everybody's weird? There's this real change of context. And that's doesn't necessarily look like it's going to finish for a while. Now, this is something that has a distant cause. This is, I want to say that this is something that has been imposed on your personal environment from afar. We've got Wheel of Fortune, there's, what's that? Spin the wheel, there she goes, where she stops, nobody knows. I can't even remember where that's from. It could be Catchphrase or Wheel of Fortune, or it could be some old riddle. I don't know. I think it's probably Wheel of Fortune quiz show, isn't it? But with the Three of Wands, you've got to keep going. And this is what this Spiral Dancer card says. There's secret blessings here with all this change of context. So you've mastered your craft. Now you have to master the diplomacy and the awareness, and you've got to be on top. You've really got to be on top this month with the Wizard of Awareness is basically saying you can perceive these things and you better perceive these things to make sense of it. And then we have the Prison Waif and the Spiral Dancer. I don't feel that this change of circumstances, change of context that you are diving into is that bad. And it's you with this Prison Waif card that risks tripping yourself up. You could end up encouraging yourself to fail if you spend too much time with that sort of scared budgerigar look of like, what the hell is going on here? You know, rather than just getting down and doing what you originally planned to do, because you do have a message to pass on. And that message in and of itself, it's going to get judged. Oh, this is nice. Two of Swords again. But here's how other people are affecting you. So the way they are seeing you is changing greatly. You are transforming in front of their eyes. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing a fair bit of transformation themselves. And yes, you will be judged. We have the jurors card from that Heresy card game. And that's with the Two of Swords once again. So don't worry so much about the fact about how the world's just turned really strange and you don't really know what's going on and you ain't got a clue. Neither have they. You know, it is, everybody's in the same boat here of this whole, the hell? What just happened to the world? It was a lot different last night. So you had already been quite a driven dream-wise. That this, you had taken control of your own destiny, so to speak, by choosing whatever this course of study, course of mastery, skill gaining bit that's so apparent and so needed right now. Because you had a really powerful driving force and a genuine belief that everything that you were doing was interconnected with everything else, not so much in that weird law of attraction as within, so without, although see my video with Nicole, you know, because it both is true and a trap. Because it is a workable philosophy, but it's also a trap if you don't take into the 101 other things. But he was like, I can see if I learn how to do this, I can see how I can create the positive effect on the world that I am wanting to do so. And that is definitely something, Wheel of Fortune again. So here represented by Metatron. Oh, I said I'd show you the box, wouldn't I? So as I film this, later tonight, I will actually be doing an interview with the guy that created this and my Demon Possessed Tarot, that if you've been watching the channel for a while, then you know I like to use to clarify the devil cards. Right, where was I? So yes, there's new talents coming for you. Now this, okay, there will also be a choice. It's almost like you get the choice of, can I use my gifts for good or should I use them for evil? Because this hardcore card, it's with the Wheel of Fortune and the Two of Wands. Now, the Two of Wands means there's I nearly said there's violence available. No, there's guidance available, as shown by the little bird that the guy's speaking to. But It is like, do I go this way? Do I go this way? There is guidance available, and there are gifts on either path. Because with this hardcore card, I'm immediately brought to think of hardcore from Valiant Comics, who basically had their powers beamed to them one at a time from a satellite. If you think, if you're of a certain age, you'll remember the Centurions, power extreme, and that same sort of thing of send down flight, send down invulnerability, send down a force field. But reading this, it says, known as stiffs, the hardcore is composed of zealots who have been altered and corrupted by the decay. Ooh, that doesn't sound good, does it? Now, from the Mausolea, we have Set, Prince of Avarice here. Or, and I say or because I really do feel like there's a polarity between these two. So we have Set, the Prince of Avarice, or Vanth, Caretaker of the Lost. Now, I do feel that with those are the cards that I was seeing, there's a certain amount of, with that Two of Swords of how you're feeling, with that Four of Swords on the bottom of the deck, there's a certain amount of healing available for you, a certain amount of being protected, being looked after. But I also feel that as that progresses, it's not that you are insulated against the changes that are going on around you, that all of a sudden turn you from someone who's really good at their job living in Milton Keynes to someone who's really good at their job in Milton Keynes but dropped in a desert somewhere. There's a calling for you that your adaptation to all of this, as it indeed still keeps changing, is, I want to say, protected or guided, not from you doing something stupid, because with this Prism Wave card, you're your own worst enemy. But with this Spiral Dancer card, these things that appear like they're setbacks aren't necessarily anywhere near as bad as what you think they are. So you have to change your thinking and be aware to all the details that are going on around you. Because, if anything, as the Magician, as card number one, and with the Fool here as well, in how you're feeling, you know that you are the way shower. Now, if you know the Palladian channelings from the 80s with Barbara Marciniak, you know that phrase way shower carries a little bit of weight. And this is exactly what you're doing. And other people are listening to you, and other people will judge you. And I'm not here to tell you that other people judging you is good or bad. Of course they're going to do it. That's people for you. And they're going to need to do it because they can either be judgy little so-and-sos turning their nose up, or they could be practicing the art of discernment, which at the same time is being a bit judgy, but it's going for what's good or going for what's bad. And you will have a very obvious choice here of with this Two of Wands as well. Do I go for the thing that is for the good of all? Or do I go for the thing that's gimme, I get out of this? Because I do feel that with it being Set, here representing avarice, but he's a god of chaos. But, however, there's a long game implied with that as well. Because if you think about the legend of Set, as the sunboat carrying the gods goes over down below the horizon every day, they face the serpent Apophis, and Apophis sends them all to sleep. Now Set is in this boat, and he's the one person that Apophis cannot send to sleep, and it is Set that fights off Apophis and saves the lives of all the good guys. Okay, so he hacked his brother up and distributed bits of the body all around Upper and Lower Egypt. When he's protecting the gods who are providing the source of sunlight, which is the source of life here, he could be maybe given a little bit of latitude. So maybe there's a longer game here, But if there is, I'm not necessarily seeing it, apart from the very fact that that just popped into my head and I wanted to say that one. Now, I think you're worried that this whole new path could be something that could spiral out of control, that could really go like way too far. We've got the Ace of Wands here and the Eight of Cups. Am I really going to keep... Oh, look at that. I look like I've been possessed by the Mysterons. Am I really going to keep faith in this path that I am stepping on right now? Or am I in 2 months, a year's, 4 years' time just going to go, stuff this for a game of darts? Well, right now, does it matter? I mean, that's this. I want to say about, no, you're going to dedicate yourself to this path. But back to the old life purpose saga that's gone on this channel. This might be a life purpose. It might not be, but it certainly looks like a good one for right now. It looks like a good one for today. Tomorrow is another matter. Deal with tomorrow when you get there. And I do think that this path, now we've got Ial as the angel on the Eight of Cups. So reading its keywords, transformation, and gives consolation in adversity. Now, this is something that, if I haven't stressed this enough, all this change, of course, is adversity. You know, because of course there is. Because something is different means your original plans won't work. Therefore, all this different stuff are obstacles. But they're going to get you to the right place. This is what this spiral dancer promises. And with the Ace of Wands, there's this fear of, am I just surging ahead into God knows what? And then we have, oh, now I meant to look this one up. This is a celestial archangel unique host called Ethereal, who I'm not sure whether that's a real angel or not. There are real angels and demons in this deck, but I can't say. I need to look this one up because I do not know whether it's real or not. But it doesn't matter, because for here, it's a piece of card with a symbol on it. And it's the symbol that's what's important. Now, this little black symbol at the top here, there's like a load of these. Here's a key to them. 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, eight different suits. And this is the suit of evolution. And if Ethereal's, get my teeth in, Ethereal's, oh, now this is interesting. Ethereal's presence here, again, is showing that guardianship. And it's weird, because I think these, I would think they were called alignments, but I think they're called convictions in this. And this is talking about Ethereal helps you retain or stay on the path or return to the path of your original conviction. The original conviction that is talked about here with that magician status that you have, with all the work that you put into it, where you took control and had a dream that you wanted to press into the world, that you could see how things were linked. So finally, let's get to the final outcome pile. So we have 9 of Cups. That sounds good. With the 9 of Pentacles. Ooh, now this is really interesting, because with that 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups is wish fulfillment energy. 2 9s together. Angel number 99, if you want to say it, but that is very, very much a symbol for me for rebirth. If you think about how 9s disappear in numerology, but their presence is still felt. They are the pathway. If you unnumerologize a number and the number gets more towards integer numbers than numerology numbers, you know, like 1343 would be 11. Yes, it would be 11, which would collapse to a 2. But I'm talking about the passage from the 2 back to the 1343. And there is where the 9s would... okay, maybe there's no 9s in that number, but you get my point. There's... So there's a rebirth going on, and you are smack bang in the middle of that rebirth. You have done some internal rebirthing with learning these skills, with getting this expertise, with perceiving how things were all connected together. But with these Wheel of Fortune cards coming in, how things are all connected together, it's changed. If you've ever seen the image that really springs to mind, if you've ever seen the cult classic sci-fi movie Dark City, every time everybody went to sleep at night or were put to sleep, then the city rearranged itself. It remolded itself into a new shape, and the next day they all woke up thinking the world was exactly the same as what it had been before, but it was not. The world had changed, and they had slotted into their appropriate roles in this new world. And so the way that everything being interconnected that was seen, it's still going on, but using this awareness, you're going to have to figure out just how it's still going on and how all these things have changed, because it is a new world. And then finally, the final clarification card, which is a technology card, which is this thing called the Sybil. Oh, I can't read it in this light. Well, to be honest, I want to just go from the image because I really can't read that text in this light. But you know what I was saying about other people transforming, other people judging you? It really does sound like there's going to be a lot of naysayers in the background. But you know what? That also doesn't matter, because there's going to be a hell of a lot of people who can see what you're about, can see what you're trying to do, or can at least see that you're trying to do something good, even if they do not understand all the ins and outs of it. You know, if they don't understand all the complexities that your expertise does, you are able to go, I create A, we create B, that will get us to C. And some of them will be, yeah. And some of them will be, does it? Okay. C sounds good. And then there, of course, there's others going, rah, 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 C isn't where we want to go. You know, well, okay, stuff them. There's my highly spiritually evolved advice there. Stuff them, stick with the folk that can see and like what you're trying to do, what you're trying to create. Because as long as you stay on that path, you are, to a great extent, protected until you get to the point where you don't need nobody to be protecting you. Where you can just, you know, you're fine anyway. You don't need the protection. At the moment, you may feel like you need a little bit of the protection because the world's gone so weird. Well, if you listen to the astrologers, you ain't seen nothing yet. So remember, unless you've got an even longer term plan, it's like, unless you plan to be Dr. Doom, looking after his country perfectly and people being happy within it, within the constraints they got, but always getting fed, always getting watered, always having purpose and what have you. And then it's Dr. Doom that goes and saves the universe, which is what this set card could represent. Just avoid the greedy path, unless you've got that sort of plan in mind. And notice how, during all this weirdness, during all this strangeness, how you're being looked after, and pass it on. That's what this Vanth card is saying to me. That's what this Nine of Cups is saying to me. It's not just that you are receiving the magic of this genie. It's that with this Nine of Pentacles, you can be the genie. And again, oh God, how do I pronounce this one? Ahuya. Ahuya is one of the Shem HaMephorash, each carrying the name of God. And this angel's name means the omniscient God. And her keywords here, submission to higher order, and interestingly, identifies traitors and destroys their plans, which might give a little bit more context to this Sybil card. That's a really interesting thought. So you just stick to your plans and make sure that you go to that caretaking role. That really is everything. That's a hell of a journey you're on, Gemini. I have a 12th house Gemini Saturn. So I'm going to listen to that in those terms, and hopefully they're not too terrifying. But so Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Saturn. There you go. There's your reading for the month. If it means anything to you, please do comment down below, because definitely I would love to hear about whatever you are creating, because there's so many people right now that are in the position of creating. Maybe only small things to start off with, but this promises that it will get bigger and bigger and bigger. Hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel as you pass by, and wow, go out there and change the world. Oh, I might even call the reading that. No, that takes away the punchline. I'll figure something out, Gemini. Cheers.